Planet Vero Studio is powered by the Nolan Group of eXp Realty. MyNextHomeFinder.com.
Treasure Coast Connector. Connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Well, welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. My company by the same name is one of the show's sponsors, and we help business owners to promote their products and services in the marketplace through websites, social media marketing, lead generation campaigns, video production, articles in the news, PR. All of the details are on my website, www.tcconnector.com, or call 772-925-4557. Treasure Coast Connector, the show, puts a spotlight on local business owners because everyone has an interesting story of why they do what they do. And when we learn about them and do business locally, it strengthens our local economy. When it comes to public speaking, that scares so many people, but there is something else that scares people just as much, and I say needlessly, and that is visiting the dentist. And that's a shame because when we don't take care of our health, our dental health, it can cause other problems throughout our entire body, including our heart. Well, joining me in the studio today is Dr. Doris Ferres, the founder and owner of Ferres Denistry, and she is joined by Jenny Kraft, a dental hygienist who is a mobile dental hygienist, and that firm is called My Dental Connections or Dental Connections, and they have a lot to talk about today. So welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, I'm so glad to have you here because people, you know what, don't tune out, don't not listen, because you're going to be really happy to hear what they have to say. Before we go into what your practice is all about, I'd love to hear what made you want to become Dr. Ferres, a dentist, and Jenny, a dental hygienist. And we're going to start with Dr. Ferres.
All right. Yeah. Well, mine is very interesting because when I finished high school, actually, I wanted to be an architect. So
okay, that's a little different.
But then, I was like, I don't know what I want to do. So I had a cousin, Lani, who was a dentist. And she looked at me and she's like, you're kind of not knowing what you want to do. I need an assistant. Why don't you come and work with me and until you figure it out? Well, and here we are. I fell in love with dentistry, helping her. And from then on, that was it for me. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. So now how about you, Jenny? What made you want to become a dental hygienist?
So I was sitting in a dental chair at my local orthodontist, the pediatric dentist here locally, and I was looking at the panoramic x-ray, which is a full mouth x-ray, and I kept asking all these questions about different landmarks that was on the x-ray. And the doctor nicely said, well, why don't you come and join us next week and sit by our side and take a listen, but we'll go ahead and pay you and you can become a sterilization tech. So here we are 20 years later, and I've climbed my way up to being a dental hygienist.
Yep, natural curiosity. It's amazing what it leads to in our lives. Mm-hmm. And so I alluded to not taking care of our teeth, right? And a lot of people don't realize, I myself didn't fully understand all of the ramifications like bone loss, that could happen if you don't get your teeth cleaned regularly. So I'd love for you to explain to people how our dental health is actually linked to our entire body and what the ramifications are of not taking care of our teeth. Yeah.
Okay, well, and that can be, we can talk about that all day long, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to try to be brief. But yes, the mouth is like the door to the body or the window to the body. We do have bacteria in our mouth. We have good bacteria and we have bad bacteria. It's when the bad bacteria settles in and overcomes the good bacteria when trouble starts. And as we know, oral disease is dental decay, periodontal disease, or oral cancer. Now, the way this works is, and nowadays, something that has been very important is that we're looking at airway too, because, we eat and breathe nose and mouth.
Yeah.
So when
we're going to get into that in the second half.
Yeah. But when you have gum disease because of the bad bacteria overcoming everything else, well, it has been proven that it can be a contributing factor for heart disease, stroke, diabetes.
Wow. Okay. I forgot about that one.
Oh, yeah. And
okay.
I don't know if you heard, but the morbidity for COVID-19 patients is much higher on people that have gum disease.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad that my gums are healthy. So I'm going to segue to you, Jenny, because I'd also like for you as the hygienist perspective that, people think that, oh my gosh, I haven't been to have a cleaning in a long time. I'm too far gone. But that's not the case. Like, you can help people bring themselves back to a better level of health.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you can explain a little.
Sure. So most of the patients that come into Dr. Doris Ferres' office, Ferres Denistry, have not been in since pre-COVID because of all the COVID concerns. So they're pretty embarrassed. So we just start by sitting down and having a conversation of where you were before, where you want to be in the goals. And it really comes down to the patient. I can have a laundry list of different ideas, all these different dental brushes, flossing techniques, mouth rinses, but it comes down to what the patient's going to use.
Right.
If I give them something too complicated, they're not going to want to do it. It's going to become work. So they're going to get stressed. So we really take it from the beginning, see what they're using, try to modify the technique a little bit, go into detail as far as periodontal probing, because that really tells us the story, and bring up some pictures and show them what they have in their mouth. So they get to see it. A picture's worth 1,000 words. They can see what their mouth looks like in our perspective, rather than just telling them, "Oh, you have periodontal disease. This is a treatment plan that we need," and then they're shocked, and then they run and they hide and they kind of shut down. So I always try to interact with the patients. Say, "Hey, listen, this is what you have. This is where we want to be, and we're going to get there together."
And the two of you work hand in hand to make that patient feel a lot better about themselves in terms of getting them back to a better level of health.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so what has been nice is where you were located for many years, you were in the public shopping plaza on not US 1. I always say US 1 in Oslo, but it's Oslo and 43rd.
Yeah.
You were in that shopping center. And then you moved down the street a little bit because you needed to expand your practice. So tell everyone where you are now and what your place is like.
So we are right now still on Oslo Road, and we're in between the Winn-Dixie Plaza and the Auto Parts. So I'm next to Vittorio Pizzeria.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's great because a lot of people watch the building being built. So when I ask some patients, how do you find us? And they're like, oh, we saw this building being built. So, they are there. So it's a nice place. We love it. We have windows now. Yay. We didn't have windows before. And it's nice and spacious, and we love it. It has a very good atmosphere.
Yeah, I even said when I first walked into your lobby area, it was very calming. It was very pretty.
Glad
and it felt like a spa.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because normally when people are afraid of the dentist and they walk in, and Cindy, of course, is laughing because she knows I'm a big baby. I am. I'm calling myself out here. And but when I walked in, and it was very calm and soothing, so that sets the tone. And then when you took me on the tour, everything is just beautiful, and it doesn't look scary at all.
Let me tell you something. I remember one of my patients at the beginning when he came in, and he said, I was sitting there and he was looking around, and he said, "You know what? This feels so good." He has like a phobia about the dentist, but also like enclosed spaces. But the office is so wide open. It's very, it's nice. So he was like, I feel really good. I don't feel like I'm confined. So it gave him a good sense of being there. And I was like, that's interesting. So that made me feel pretty good, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what we're going to do is, because I do want to get into, I hinted that you are a mobile hygienist.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I met you at Anna Valencia Tillery's networking lunch, I didn't even wait. After your 30-second commercial, I stood up because we were a few feet away from each other. I'm like, give me your card. So I know that there's plenty of people that are listening and watching that are saying, well, this is interesting. And we're going to get into that after the commercial break. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Beer, wine, and a burger that's fine. That's the grill at C.W. Willis. Enjoy beer and wine on a covered porch. Watch the big screen TV and enjoy the best burger in Indian River County. Happy hour with beer and wine. Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 4 to 6 at C.W. Willis, Oslo Road, Vero Beach. The Sebastian Clam Bake is back this November, and they're looking for non-food craft vendors. The Sebastian Clam Bake takes place along the river on Indian River Drive near Riverview Park in Sebastian. Visit SebastianClamBake.net for a vendor application.
Wild, untamed, hilarious. Riverside Theater's Comedy Zone. Experience the Treasure Coast's best stage for live stand-up comedy this Friday and Saturday night at 7 and 9 p.m. You'll laugh till it hurts. Start your night at Live in the Loop with live entertainment, food and drinks, and after, be entertained with nationally ranked comedians, including an opening act and headliner with cabaret-style seating and food and drink table service. Get tickets at riversidetheater.com.
You bathe in it. Your kids drink it. You even wash your family's strawberries in it. Your water needs to be pure. Let Affordable Water give you a free quote to make sure you're getting the best water possible.
Affordable Water. Don't wait till you're in the path of a storm to gather supplies. Visit Sturgis Lumber and Hardware. Sturgis has everything you need to be prepared. Visit SturgisLumber.com. 4 generations strong. Sturgis Lumber and Hardware. More than just lumber.
Timber! Revive Vero Beach, located next to Anytime Fitness on Oslo Road and 27th Avenue, has everything you need to look and feel your best, including hormone replacement therapy, stem cell therapy, sexual wellness, weight loss, laser aesthetics, hair, tattoo, and skin spot removal, Botox and fillers, cryotherapy, comprehensive blood work, and everybody's favorite, ozone and IV therapy. Refresh, renew, and revitalize yourself at Revive today. Call 772-492-6607. A member of the iTex trading community. Your iTex dollars are welcome.
Welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and I've been chatting with Dr. Doris Ferres of Ferres Dental and Jenny Kraft of Dental Connections. And I spoke about your mobile dental cleanings because that made me go, well, tell me more when I first met you. So I'd love for you to explain, what do you mean by mobile? Where do you go? The types of locations, the services that you provide?
Sure. So with mobile dental connections, we don't have a van or a bus. We actually have portable equipment that we wheel in right into either your facility, your business, corporate location, or even some of the long-term nursing facilities.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's been a big dream of mine, and to be able to get out there and reach those who aren't able to get to the practice now. We call that the brick and mortar practice.
Mm-hmm.
So since COVID, there's been a lot of transportation issues, a lot of loved ones that are very compromised and unable to bring them into the office itself.
Yeah.
So we took a little venture, Dr. Ferres and I, out to Vegas. And there was a mobile dental conference out there, and we got to pick out all the equipment, really got to touch, feel, and play with it. So it's easily portable and accessible for me to go in and out of any kind of facility. Or even if it's those who are just very fearful, they can't really walk into that dental office without having a sense of overwhelming, or they just get upset, or it's coming back a bad fear that they've had. So we do it even private comfort of your own home to help those. We go into memory care facilities.
Mm-hmm.
We are in a little galloping. I really want to get into the schools and do school-based programs for the kiddos, since I have a very strong pediatric background. So we don't really have one avenue. We like to open it up for anybody and everybody who is in dental need, because for one reason or another, going to the dental office just can't happen. So we're there to bridge that gap.
And so it's the dental cleanings, exams, and even low dose X-rays.
That's correct.
That's amazing.
Anything that you can get in the brick and mortar practice, as far as your dental hygiene exam, we have that ability to do it right there on site.
And I love that because, there are people that are just very busy, business people that are busy. So you'll go to their place of work, you'll go to someone's home. But I loved when you said, I'll go to the nursing homes and the assisted living facilities and memory care. So that's amazing.
Yes. Access to care is very high there. I actually am servicing a local facility right now, and they're just in tears that I'm able to come and provide these services for their residents.
Well, that's wonderful. And another unique thing that you mentioned before the break, because I want to circle back to what you do, is the airway restriction. For some people, it starts off with one spouse complaining about the other spouse's snoring, right? And, and then, yes, somebody may need a CPAP, but then there might be people that still have issues, but it's not as dire. So what is it that you do to help people breathe better?
So first we start with an exam, and we screen people because, as you said, there's different degrees of airway breathing disorders. Mild, moderate, and severe. Severe person will need a CPAP. However, they also can be treated by an oral appliance because airway breathing disorders comes from a restricted airway due to the position of the tongue and the structure of the arches and the head and neck. Okay. So after we do a airway comprehensive exam, we do airway records, and then we can evaluate the patient and see if they can be treated by an appliance to expand the arches and open the airway. It's very satisfactory because, there's a lot of oral contributions to whole body health. If somebody cannot breathe and get oxygen, you can have, again, high blood pressure. You can have acid reflux. You can have, anything. Anything, a whole body that can happen can be affected by the lack of proper oxygen and breathing. Headaches. So by allowing the person to breathe through the nose at night, which that's how it should be, a mouth breather is not breathing properly and is not getting the nitric oxide that you're supposed to get when you breathe through your nose. That's going to affect the whole body metabolism.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's very good. It can also affect the head and neck. So if your jaws are, there's something called skeletal malocclusion, because malocclusion or bad bite is now from your teeth only.
Oh, okay.
The base, the foundation of the house is the arches. So if the arches are not properly the size and form is not right, the teeth are not going to be right, and everything else is not going to be right. Okay. But that's a whole story that we can talk about at some point, but it's very, very rewarding.
Well, very good. So I know at this point that there are people that are listening, okay, and then the people that are watching have been able to see the graphic with your contact information, but the iHeart and podcast people, I can hear them through the headphones. They're like, please, I need the phone numbers. So we're going to start with you with your location, your URL, and your phone number.
Okay, so we are 2980 9th Street Southwest, between the Winn-Dixie Plaza and the Auto Parts. Our office website is dorisferres.com.
And that's DORISFERRES.com. Yeah.
Yes, and we're in the process of changing our website because we haven't had time to redo it. And our phone number is 772-567-1011.
Very good. So Jenny, there's a number to get to you and your URL.
Sure. Our number at Dental Connections is 772-469-1435. And the website is www.mydentalconnections.com.
Very good. So now for people that say, I would like to get my teeth cleaned. I need the dentist and I need to get my teeth cleaned. And they don't necessarily need you to come to their house or work. you also work out of Ferres Dental. Is that
That's
correct?
correct.
Okay, I
Yes,
just
ma'am.
want to make sure,
Yes.
people want to know. So we do have a couple of minutes. So I'd also like for you to touch on the other services, because general dentistry, I think a lot of people understand. But, when you list different things on your website, like people may think that certain procedures are like a 2-step process, but crowns you're doing in one day?
Yeah, we're general dentist, and we the way we approach general dentistry is in a holistic and biological way, which is another topic. But we do full mouth reconstruction, crowns, veneers, smile design, dentures, partials, fillings. We do Invisalign, you name it.
And then there was something about like periodontal and gum work.
We do through our hygiene department. We do non-surgical periodontal treatments, and we use a lot of good stuff. We don't use antibiotics as a local treatment. We use products that have herbals and essential oils.
Yeah.
And we use ozone in our practice. We make it every day because, you have to. So we have an ozonator, and we use that for oral rinses. And we try to keep it as safe as possible and as organic as possible.
I like that you mentioned that because, yes, antibiotics are needed. Thank goodness
absolutely.
for antibiotics, right?
They have their place.
But then there are times where if it's overused, that could also lead to problems. So then the work that you're doing because when we take an antibiotic, it's getting rid of the bad bacteria, but it's also getting rid of the good.
Gets rid of the good bacteria.
So then what you offer, it keeps the good, but attacks the bad. Is that how it works?
So, locally, antibiotics have been used locally under the gums to treat periodontal disease. I have to say that in our practice for the past 3 years, we went full-blown holistic and biological in our hygiene department. So we do not use antibiotics as a treatment of periodontal disease. We use, like I said, herbals, essential oils, and we also use another product in the market that is called Perio Protect for those stubborn cases, and that's with hydrogen peroxide, it works very nice.
Well, very good. So we just got 2 minutes. I keep asking for more. And I do want you to come back so we can laser focus. Get it, laser? Because you probably use lasers. And,
yes,
anyway,
we do.
I love my puns, but we'll laser focus on one treatment area. But with 30 seconds, is there something else that you want people to know?
Well, I have to say that our venture together of Dental Connection is very exciting because sometimes, patients that have been coming to the office, now they're bound home for some reason, and we have been able to do emergency treatment, and they have felt so grateful, in pain. I've been able to send her out, get an x-ray, get a photo, talk to them on the phone, do teledentistry, and take care of them.
Wow. So that's wonderful. So what I want to say is, thank you so very much for being here, because if there's anything that we have done here today is we have probably made people say, enough is enough. I shouldn't be scared. I don't want to cause more problems for myself. Your phones are going to be ringing off the hook. Okay. I'm just saying. I just know it. So thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for everyone out there that's listening and watching, I highly recommend that you visit them. Don't put off your dental health and, make things worse. Well, my name is Ellen Contreras. I'm the host of Treasure Coast Connector, and I hope that everyone has a safe, productive, wonderful week. And until next week, I miss you already.